Good evening. Australia's latest heart transplant patient, 16-year-old mother Karen Scoble, is tonight sitting up and talking barely 36 hours after the operation. Karen's operation was the 7th heart transplant performed at Sydney's St Vincent's Hospital since the program began in February this year.
2 days ago, Karen Scoble from the Victorian town of Leongatha was gravely ill, suffering from cardiomyopathy, a condition that was apparently brought on by the stress of her pregnancy and her daughter's subsequent birth. Her poor heart condition was discovered when her daughter, Lisa Marie, was only 4 weeks old, and Karen's only hope for survival was to have a heart transplant. A suitable donor was found almost immediately after Karen was transferred from a Melbourne hospital to St Vincent's in Sydney. She underwent surgery early yesterday morning, and 24 hours after the operation she was talking to her parents.
She told us what she had for breakfast. They read her a few letters that her friends had sent up, and she was quite, she laughed a bit and waved to us a little. But no, she's marvellous. We're absolutely rapt.
When Karen's parents found out about her condition 3 weeks ago, it brought back grim memories of their 16-year-old son Murray, who died of the same heart complaint last year.
We found out about Karen's condition just after her 16th birthday. She was taken to the Alfred Hospital where they diagnosed her as having a cardiomyopathy. And, of course, we were most upset because we'd already lost our son.
Are you sad that maybe this sort of technology wasn't available 12 months ago when your son died?
Oh, you can imagine how we feel about that. Yes, there was no cardiac transplant in Australia in 1983. It just wasn't available then.
And now you're glad that it is available for your daughter's sake?
Oh, you can imagine. There's just no doubt about that, yes.
Doctors at St Vincent's are amazed at Karen's condition, which today has been described as stable. So far, no complications have been reported, but doctors will be keeping a close watch on Karen's condition over the next few days, looking for any signs of rejection. Alan Hind, 7 National News.
4 people were taken to hospital in Melbourne this afternoon after being rescued from their capsized yacht. High seas tipped it over during a race. One of the crew was in a serious condition when rescuers reached her.
The call for help went out at about 2:30 this afternoon as the Sienna, a trailer sailor, was taking in water and sinking quickly. While 3 of those who'd been on board were treading water in the bay, one woman was floating unconscious when the first rescue vessel, another yacht in the race, pulled alongside. Meanwhile, only 2 of the 3 ambulances that had been called had arrived at Webb Dock, where the survivors were taken. The other was lying on its side at a Port Melbourne intersection after having collided with a car travelling the other way. Although neither officer was seriously injured, both were badly shaken, and as they departed the scene, their colleagues at the dock were doing what they could for the survivors of the yachting accident. Of those taken to Prince Henry's, only the woman, who was in some distress, was admitted, and she'll be under intensive care for tonight at least.
A shop veranda collapsed into busy Swanston Street in Melbourne this morning. A workman on top of the veranda and several shoppers in the street below had lucky escapes from serious injury.
One today, this section of footpath in Swanston Street was crowded with shoppers. Just minutes later, the veranda collapsed, missing a young couple and a woman by less than a metre. Another woman was hit by falling debris but not injured, while the workman on top of the veranda also escaped injury by grabbing onto a nearby pipe.
In the past few years, the veranda has been frequently hit by large passing trucks, and today the final welding job is being done to stabilise the structure.
Ironically, all major reconstruction had been completed after the veranda was cut back from over the roadway. It's not known whether the weight of the workers on the veranda caused the accident. But sights like this aren't rare in Swanston Street. Last year, the veranda over the shop next door collapsed after being hit by a truck.
2 young children, one just 11 months